Hello, Faith Church. Thank you for tuning in to today's House to House. It's the last day of August, and many of you are changing rhythms this season very soon. All of those children that have yet to go back to school will probably, this is the last batch that are heading back to school tomorrow. Many, if not most, college students have started classes, some in person, some online. And work schedules are changing, and locations now that COVID limitations and so on are very different. It would be the perfect time to take a retreat, to get away from it all, and to renew that flame of being God's beloved children together. Unfortunately, our retreat scheduled for next weekend at Lake Tahoe has been moved back to Faith Presbyterian Church. And I shouldn't say unfortunately, because that same desire to be renewed, I really believe can still be lived out here in this church building where I'm sitting right now. And I've watched how God can do some amazing things simply because we choose to be a part of a community that is together. But in the meantime, I do want to share this photo of our 2019 group. This is at Lake Tahoe, so at least you can feel what it is like to be at Lake Tahoe for the next 2 or 3 minutes while I share with you, and look at that fresh, clean air, and you can see just this incredible family that we have here. And I just look around at the diversity of age and background and families that are a part of this. There's Chris back there with holding up a frisbee. You see Phil and Kay Loom in between. There's Art, and who's also gone through so much this past couple of years. Mark Tootle, our director, standing next to Lyndon, and the list goes on. Look at all of these different faces that maybe we haven't seen for a while. Some that we know better than others. But a retreat is just such a great opportunity to get to know one another and to be in a place where we can be open to hearing God's voice once again. Our scripture today, John 3, if you're following along, is really about a man who comes from a church background. He's a Pharisee, which means he's really embedded in the life of the church, knows the rules, knows how to live that kind of a life, the prayers to pray, but he's feeling like there's something more, apparently, because he goes out in the middle of the night, doesn't want any of his friends to see him. In the dark, he goes and he finds Jesus alone, and he asks him, what is it going to take for him to have life with God, eternal? And this is where we get the most famous verse in the Bible, probably, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. And essentially Jesus lays out for him a strategy for being reignited with God's presence. He calls it being born again, of really understanding once again what it is to know God's love. And it took a retreat for Nicodemus to get away from it and to investigate what that means. And it wasn't Lake Tahoe. In fact, it was in the middle of the night, in the dark, where his heart was awakened again. And I really want to encourage those of you who were already registered to come and be a part of this. I know that being local, you're going to have all kinds of temptations to be pulled in other directions, but I'd really encourage you to carve out this time. Those who are working on the retreat are doubling down on their efforts and reformatting the schedule, making other arrangements for food, so that we can be together on Friday night and a good part of Saturday until mid-afternoon. Our speaker, Jim Edwards, is delighted and thrilled that we are choosing to step into this place, to be reignited again. And so he's still going to be here to share during those times and be with us also on Sunday morning for worship at Faith. So I really encourage you, if you can, to be a part of this. Some of you who were not registered for the retreat now will be able to participate for whatever portion that you're able to at no charge. Donations will be accepted, In fact, all of the retreat fees will be refunded to those onto the card that they were originally made. And you'll have options. You'll get those options from the retreat committee about how you can simply get the refund, to be able to use those how you need to for your family, or if you wish to be able to donate some of that to Lake Tahoe, to Zephyr Point rather, because it's going to be a struggle for them in this season as they face all kinds of cancellations and evacuations in the Lake Tahoe area. And our prayers certainly go forward to those who have already suffered great damage in the course of the last few weeks from the Caldor fire, and are threatened again in the Lake Tahoe basin. This beautiful view that you see, it doesn't look like this right now. This is not a live view, obviously. And in fact, I'm not sure if we took this photo, we'd be able to see the water in the current smoke situation. It's bound to get better eventually, but right now there's too many unknowns. So just an encouragement to remember how important in this season it is to carve out some time to be with a community, to be reignited by God's transforming spirit, and to join us. So I encourage you to do that. If you have any questions, you can email me. You can email someone from the retreat committee and respond to the emails that they're sending out. But really encourage you to take part and to find others that you know and encourage them in this as well. Retreat aside, pray that you are breathing some fresh air, that you are finding some ways to be alone with Christ, to also share that with your family, with your life group, with the other communities, as we continue to be God's people together. Peace in Christ to you. Thanks for tuning in today.